In this episode, a very squeaky expansion for Magic the Gathering, so many furry charities, and a new creative and very inclusive warm winter Olympic mascots, the results for the Pride shirt giveaway, cool animation news, and of course, we are closing with a lovely interview with Shrapnel Vagr, an amazing bean from Cardiff. But first, charity news from the fandom in this August edition of Digging Up Positivity. We are starting off strong with Papabarks. I was honored to be a part of this amazing fundraiser for the ongoing fight against ALS. We all raised $60,000 together during this yearly donation drive. In the past 5 years, this Papabarks event raised $251,176.76, and they provided unforgettable moments that strengthened my faith in this wonderful community. The wonderful people behind Pride and Kindness are a yearly fundraiser around the time of Pride Month, and this year they raised funds for Fursuit and Milionaire, both trying to make the world a better and a safer place for our LGBTQ friends. They raised $1,769.31. And down under, the amazing critters for Aurawra raised $13,501.56 for the Sydney Wildlife Rescue, a non-profit organization dedicated to the wildlife in the Greater Sydney metropolitan area. The wonderful critters from Ireland raised $695 for the Feed West Cork Food Bank, helping those who are struggling between paying the bills and providing food for themselves and their loved ones. Back in the USA, in Philadelphia, our friends from FurryDelphia managed to raise $11,560.69 for Dance Safe, an organization dedicated to promote health and safety within the music and nightlife communities. Many were saddened and shocked to hear about the passing of Dragoneer, the big force behind Furaffinity. No matter your opinion about him, that website has been a major player in the furry fandom for many years. However, with his passing, it once more became painfully clear that the US healthcare system can be quite expensive, and to ensure the continuity of the website, people came together to raise money in Dragoneer's honor. At the time of recording, the amount sits on $206,984 at the time of recording this video. Those left behind had little time to grieve though, as Furaffinity did go through a rough month. A big hacking attempt was made, but fortunately the site and its Twitter account are available again, and the absolute donut responsible has been identified, but that is another story for another time. The good old Ringberg Hotel in Germany, once the home of Euroferns, is now the hotel of choice for East, where they raised $12,000 for Tierisch Grenzenlos, a lovely little shelter from Bamberg, dedicated to find our fluffy friends new forever homes. Over 382 furries, of which 274 bowlers, came together for the world's largest furball, when Furballs Strike. Amongst the fun and games, they raised $2,560 for the Homeward Pet Adoption Shelter. 2,030 critters came together at IndyFurCon and raised an impressive $14,671.71 together for Oinking Acres, a farm animal rescue in Indiana, dedicated to not just help those lovely farm animals, but also to educate people about them as well. our friends from Team Dogbomb raised $2,114 during the Walk ALS Rhode Island. After all these years, they're still going strong, doing their part in the battle against this dreadful disease. With all of this, I am proud to announce that with still 4 months to go, we have covered furries worldwide, raising a breathtaking $1.2 million raised in charity. And the furry fandom just keeps on showing their lovely colors, as little over 18% of this amount went to various LGBTQ causes, which is over $232,000, already a huge leap over the $175,398.93 raised for the LGBTQ charities over the entirety of last year. Stay strong, you amazing critters. Okay, I am not known to be an Olympic sports channel. I am not a fast meerkat at all. However, the Olympic mascots, Tina and Milo, are just mwah. Seriously, do check them out. They are two most adorable stout siblings, and their names are diminutives to host cities. Tina for Cortina and Milo for Milano, and their characters are slightly different. Tina is a little bit of a city stout, very outgoing type, where Milo is a little bit of a dreamer who loves practical jokes. And despite being born without a paw, he learned to be just as nimble with his tail, representing his motto in life: obstacles are trampolines. They even integrated his tail in a mascot suit. Just check out the tail. Very clever. If you say card games, many think of Magic the Gathering right away. As a wee little kid, I played it at school during lunch break with my friends, but they now released their first all-animal plane, Bloomburrow, which came out with an animated trailer which is honestly instantly reminds me of Redwall and the Secret of Nymph. That animation is just breathtaking, but it didn't stop there. Henshin Scrap made one of the characters, Mabel, and the result is just amazing. Just look at those details and that snoot. I just hope they will listen to their fans and make more animated shorts, or better yet, a movie about Bloomburrow. Oh! One of the biggest complaints I shared with many about Hazbin Hotel was the story being crammed into way too little episodes, but this was understandable. They had no idea they would even get a second season. However, they are currently working on that, but the fun does not end there. They have been greenlit for a third and a fourth season. Looking forward to see some amazing new episodes with a pacing they can properly control. I really want to see how things continue with Serpentius and of course the others too. Finally, the new trailer of the much anticipated Sonic 3 dropped, showing more of Shadow the Hedgehog, as voiced by Keanu Reeves. But I was very surprised to see Jim Carrey returning as Dr. Robotnik, which is really doing a great job of hyping me up for this movie. In the trailer we get a glimpse of the backstory of Shadow, but also his amazing power, and the movie itself is scheduled for this December. This month, with Digging Up Positivity, we have a very special guest from Cardiff, England. We have Shrapnel. Hello! Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so I'm Shrapnel, obviously. I'm from Cardiff. I'm one of the organisers for the Fur Meet in Cardiff. I've been in the fandom for about 20 years now. I got back into it when I was way younger, and yeah, I've been in and out of it a bit. I've gone to conventions all over the world. In my personal time, I'm into like various things like wargaming and that kind of stuff. And I enjoy a little bit of drawing, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Oh, you are in the fandom for quite a while. 20 years. insane. But how did you find the furry fandom?
How did I find the furry fandom? Okay, so way back in the day, I used to be heavily into paintball, and it was one of my favorite things I used to love doing. And there used to be this paintball webcomic called The Whiteboard, which was about this polar bear and his friends who were like a fox and a raccoon and that kind of stuff. And they used to go paintballing. So I stumbled across this through my hobby of paintball. And when I went onto the old forum that they had, they were discussing furries in there. So I just kind of Googled furries to see what it was all about. Which, as you can imagine, back in the day with no such thing as safe search, Googling furries probably not the best idea. But I kind of enjoyed what I saw and kind of got into it a little bit further and found local fur groups. And then back in, I think about 2007, I just decided to take a plunge. I had some mates over in the States who were like furries, and I thought I'd go to AnthroCon. So I met up with some mates there, and it was at AnthroCon that I actually found out there were other British furries. I didn't realise there were any at that point. So when I actually came back from AnthroCon, I found that there was actually a local group in Cardiff who were doing the occasional fur meet, and I turned up, and there was about 6 people there, but I got to know them. And then I started going to other events like Bristol Furs and Birmingham. I nipped up to Glasgow for a meetup there once, and I just kind of got into it through that. And then eventually I thought, you know what, this is actually a really good thing. I really enjoy it, and it's just become a part of my life since then.
That is so awesome. And this brings us to a little bit of a weird point, because one of the first times I was fursuiting as Tabo was in the city of Cardiff. And it was years before I found out that there was this huge furry community in Cardiff as well. And when I was going there to one of the bigger meets for the moment, I saw you as part of the organization. Could you tell us a little bit about you and the lovely team behind For the Moment?
Okay, so obviously there's about 10 of us who are running For the Moment at the moment. Myself and one other dude named Geraint, we're kind of running it from the top down, and then we've got like a first aider, we've got a DJ, we've got the whole team. We got obviously my other half, Conifer, they're on welfare, so they make sure everything's running tickety-boo. Obviously I didn't set up For the Moment myself. It was set up by a dude named Lord Suka, but he recently decided to hand the reins over to me, so that's why myself and Geraint are kind of running the show now. And we kind of organize it all and get it all going, and then we discuss things with the venue. So the venue are really on board with us. They absolutely love us. We're in a Revolution bar in Cardiff, and the manager absolutely loves us. So we're always liaising with them, making sure everything's going good, seeing if there's any issues. And yeah, it's just kind of like a team effort. We all have our individual tasks that we do, just to make sure the meets run lovely and smooth.
Well, you say there are about 10 people behind there. Of course, we would love to give them a little bit of credit. Could you introduce us to the team?
So obviously there's me and Geraint, also known as Fran. We're kind of like leaders. There's Glenn, who's our first aider. He's actually in charge of the first aid, but we do have several other first aiders who help at the meets. Our DJ is a dude named Jay. He kind of swings the tunes for us. We did recently lose a couple of other DJs. Obviously King used to come and DJ for us a lot, and a girl named Blue does a lot of DJing for us. Conifer is on the welfare. They're making sure everything's running at the meet. They probably got the hardest job of the lot, because they're organising all the radios for the staff and making sure everything is okay. And they're the first point of call for attendees who are having issues at the meet, because they can always find Conifer.
Conifer, they are from the dinosaur suits, isn't it?
Yeah. Conifer is, they're the mastermind behind Conifer's creations. They made my lovely fursuit that I'm wearing today, but they specialise in making these awesome dinosaurs. Now, you've probably seen their dinosaur, Conifer, which is
Yeah.
Parasaurolophus. But they've also made things like Biscuit, the Carnotaur. They made that most excellent Triceratops. It was at Confuzzled a couple of years ago. They've made all sorts. They specialize in dinosaurs. They've even got like one dinosaur that was bought by a museum so they could represent the museum like out on the street, getting people to come in and see what they got like on show.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they do a lot of dinosaur stuff.
They're getting places. That's awesome. And what kind of memory do you cherish from For the Moment? I mean, you've been doing there a lot. Your entire team has been very helpful. But what memory stands out?
What memory stands out? There's actually a couple. I mean, about 6 months ago, this little dude named Flame, he's about 7. His mother is always coming with him to the fur meets, and he decided he wanted a fursuit himself. So his mother actually made him a fursuit and then unboxed it at the For the Moment fur meet, and it was a real special moment. He absolutely loved it, and ever since then, every single fur meet, the pair of them have been coming to the meets. He's been running around in this tiny little fursuit. He's like about 3 foot tall, and he's just running around the whole meet having a whale of a time. So that's one of them. A couple of months back, we had someone propose at one of our fur meets. That was pretty awesome. They got up on a rock and got down on one knee and proposed to the other half. That was pretty cool. There's been all sorts of memories at the fur meets. You know, it's hard to pick just one.
That is so amazing. But also for especially seeing that about the little 7-year-old, do you have any recommendations for someone who is new to the fandom?
Recommendations for people who are new to the meets. The biggest one is don't be afraid to say hello to people. I know it's like, you know, you come to this place, it's like 200 people at our fur meets these days. It can get really intimidating. You might be a bit afraid of everything going on. But the one thing I can say is don't be afraid. Just go up to someone and randomly say hi to them. How are you doing? Ask them what their persona is. Have a couple of questions ready to go to introduce yourself. Obviously, if you're a bit too afraid to go to a regular attendee, look for my battle jacket, find me, come say hello to me, because I will happily talk to anyone. But the one thing I will say is just don't be afraid. That we're all furries there. We're all there for the same kind of thing. No one's gonna judge you for being a furry at a fur meet. So don't worry about, you know, embarrassing yourself or anything like that. You'll be absolutely fine. Just walk up to someone random and introduce yourself. Say hi, tell them your persona, ask them a bit about themselves, that kind of thing.
That is a wonderful bit of advice. Well, and with that, I would like to thank you very much for taking some time to be with us for Digging Up Positivity. And I would like to thank you, and I hope to see you anytime soon, because when I'm back in England, I am making a point out of it of coming by at Cardiff.
No worries, dude. Thank you very much for having me on here today. It's been awesome chatting with you today. I absolutely love your show. I love watching Digging Up Positivity. It's just such a great show. So yeah, thank you very much for having me on here, dude.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for staying with us. As for this month, the winner of the Pride t-shirt goes to BBBBZ5G. Please do use the form linked in the description so I can verify your identity. Please do this before the next Digging Up Positivity video to claim your prize. Of course, you can visit my artwork t-store anytime for the Pride shirt and many other fun things. If you want to see me draw, I will be both here and on Twitch roughly every Monday from 8 PM till 10 PM. But you can also support me on Subscribestar or as a YouTube member or on Patreon, like these lovely fuzzbuds. On Subscribestar we have Manik, Cosmic with a K, Taros and Hanzana. On YouTube we have Lorak Birnison 086, Longtooth and Whiffer. On Patreon we have Tantru McNally, Ishnula and Els Deckers. And on Twitch we have, thanks to a lot of very awesome gifts to a couple of very special critters, the following subscribers: XGadget865, Guzmalizos, Ari 1985, We Are Xim, Ayabiin, Hansani Hansen, Koji Rave, Kite VR, Mina Dash, Arin Gaming, Voltrot, Marcel Kopperson, Rogebred, Truck the Polar Bear, Clover, Raf Jackalope, Tani Drolls, Dr. Ben, Light Nympha, Jake RG, Naoma, Reinhard Weiss, Evolver TV, Bass Badger, Swax the Mischievous Fox, Lighty417, Axel the Alewolf, Meatloaf 7593, James TGS, Duali, Traitor the Dragon, Valconio, Lady Lian, Vita Cordes, Tommy Wolf 2110, Mino the Badger, Trohan the Star Bear, Koda the Wolffox 17, Soldier 24, Ice Toast, Martin Mon, Cute Wolfie Nova, The Gentle Jester, Goosey VX0, and Misdo Creations. However, remember that a like and a subscribe goes a very long way as well. The next episode of Digging Up Positivity will be on September 28th. See you around and all the hugs.